Hey everybody, it's Red Kiwi here again. First of all, wanted to apologize for not getting a video out in the last few months. It has been crazy busy. We had our financial end of year, then we had Microsoft Ready in Las Vegas, and now I'm back into it. Anyway, wanted to do another video on the topic of what tools should you use from a mobile platform perspective to connect to your email, calendaring, and search and files. So there are apps that come out of the box with your iPhone or your Android, but they're not the most secure and they're not the most productive experience that you could have. So today we're going to go through what Microsoft Outlook app could do for you on your iPhone or your Android device. Being productive on the go really is the new normal. We're finding that mobile workers are using their smartphones around 33% of the time to try and do work, but are they doing it most effectively? Are they doing it in a way that is securing the corporate information? Let's have a look and see. The Outlook app for iOS and Android, it's the best application for connecting to Office 365. It's going to give you your contacts, your email, your calendar, your files, your global address list in one single application, rather than having to go to the Mail app, the Calendar app, the Contacts app, the OneDrive app, and not even having access to your global address list and some of these other capabilities as well. Some of the capabilities in Outlook provide additional security and compliance that the inbuilt apps just don't have. They were never designed for that. They're really sort of a consumer-based offering. From an Office 365 perspective, some of the things that you are going to get with the Outlook app is that single place for everything that I mentioned before. You're also going to get access to your OneDrive for Business and other cloud storage services as well from within the app. If you get any attachments, which we'll show in the demonstration, you can open them up if they're Office documents right there in the Outlook app. You can have multiple accounts. This is a killer feature, right? So you can have work accounts, personal accounts in a unified inbox. So you only have one inbox to triage. You're not having to flip between accounts. I love that feature. Integrated Skype meetings and soon Microsoft Teams, but when you're in the inbox or in your calendar within the Outlook app, you can go and join that Skype meeting right from the Outlook app, and it'll open up the Skype or soon Teams app to do that. So without further ado, let's kick into the demo. So the first thing you're going to need to do is install the app. Real simple. Go to the App Store, search for the word Outlook on the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. You're going to see the app, you install it, you open it. When you open it, it is going to present you with adding your accounts. You'll put in your email account and password, and the account will be added. You can also configure Face ID or Touch ID to further secure being able to open the application and get access to your information. Okay, so first thing, let's have a look at the application interface. So it's very, very similar to Outlook on your computer. So on the left-hand side here, you've got your mail list. It is going to be grouped by thread. On the right-hand side here, you've got your preview of that mail. If you want to create a new email, this is the icon to do that. And if you want to do anything with a particular email, you've got the ... up here. So that is going to allow you to reply, forward, delete. And then these ... up here is going to give you some additional options for that mail or the thread associated with that. Next thing you might want to do is go into the settings. So this is the top left menu. You're going to see your groups, your inbox and folders, and down here is your settings. So let's go into that. So here's my account. If we click on that, it's going to take you into some further things you can do with that account. So you can switch on automatic replies. It's super handy if you've already gone away to a meeting or vacation and you forgot to do that on your computer. Now you can do it from your device. Saving contacts is another thing I'll draw attention to. So this is going to take your contacts that are in Outlook and synchronize it down to your device. Sometimes that is important because you have things like Bluetooth in your car that wants to synchronize the contacts, and it can only often do that from the native contacts app on your phone. So it'll keep those things in sync so your devices can work properly. You can add another account here if you want, but further to that account, you've got settings around mail. So you can set up notifications. You can say, what's the default email account that I want to use for sending emails? You can set a signature. This is one I want to dive into. So swipe options. So when you're looking at an email, you can tap it and swipe right or swipe left, and it'll do different activities. I've got mine configured so that when I swipe right, it's going to flag it for follow-up. If I flag left, it's going to archive it. Let's see what else you can do. So you can delete, archive, mark it as read, move it, schedule it to say, hey, I can't read this right now, but I really want to read it later on, etc. So you can configure that right within the swipe options. You can say that it's organized by thread, so it'll group the emails based on the subject line. From a calendar's perspective, you can set notifications. Time to leave is a really cool feature. So it's gonna take the address that's in your calendar item, use the GPS on your device, and warn you when you should leave to be able to get to that meeting on time based on either traffic or transit schedules. The next thing we'll look at is the email. So the first thing to note is you do get this unified one inbox across multiple accounts that we talked about earlier. But let's go to a particular email. So I can just scroll down, and I've got this email from Henrietta. First thing I wanted to draw your attention to is that Outlook has detected this Friday at 9 a.m. as a date and time. Henrietta needs me to look at the Northwind Traders progress and discuss the latest project plans. So she said, let's schedule a meeting at Friday at 9. If I tap that, it gives me a couple of options. The one I'm going to focus on here is create an event. So it's going to create a meeting or a calendar invite with Henrietta. The subject line of the email is going to be the meeting invite subject. It's already put the date and the time in. Let's make it a Skype meeting so that people can join remotely if they need to. And now let's invite some other people into this meeting. So as I start typing, I am accessing in real time my global address list. Now, I wonder if those people are free at that time. So let's click the date. Checking availabilities down the bottom. It says 9:30 a.m. is the closest available time on the 17th, which is when she wanted to meet. So let's have a look if there's any other times that may work on that for everybody. So we go to time and look at these icons down the bottom. Currently I'm red, Henrietta's red, the other two, Jordan and Irvin, are green. So as we scroll through, you'll actually see that this is a time, 2 till 3, that all of us can make that. Super easy to do to see the free busy and schedule a meeting. So let's schedule that meeting for 2:30 till 3 on Friday, August the 17th. So the next thing, I've got this email down here around forwarding. Please forward Contoso patent document. So I can review that document by just tapping on that document. There's a lot of information there that I think I'm going to have to review, and I can't do that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that for follow-up. Right, so I just flag it by dragging it to the right like I configured earlier. And then later on in the day, perhaps what I can do is I want to see all of the emails that I have flagged for follow-up. So at the top here, I can tap flagged as a filter, and it shows me all of the emails that I have flagged for follow-up. I see one at the top here actually from Paddy, who's our CEO, asking for the Mark 8 plans as fast as possible. So let's just drill into that. Interesting. You don't often get email from paddyf@gmail.com. Gosh, I wouldn't have caught that. Which appears similar to someone who has previously sent you an email. but may not be that person. Someone was trying to fish me for the Mark 8 plans, faking that they were the CEO. So Outlook was able to sort of detect that and warn me. So I'll definitely not forward those plans through. So what does it look like creating a new email? So we go up here to this new icon, and we can start typing once again, and it's going to do that global address list lookup. And we can say, we need your input. And if we do the @, we can actually flag someone in the email. It'll automatically put them on the to line, and it will draw their attention that they are specifically being asked to do something within this email. And then we'll just hit send. We want to attach a document to that email. So down here we've got this paperclip. We can say attach file. We can attach it from our OneDrive for Business. These are documents that I've recently been working on. So let's attach the Northwind proposal. We can review the file before we attach it. Let's attach that file. The next thing we want to do is we want to send through some available times that we can meet. So down here is a calendar. We'll tap that, say send availability. And let's send through, we've got some time here and here just before the Friday unwinder. Click the tick icon at the top right, and it's going to include that in the email that we send through to the people. Okay, so that's a pretty reasonable overview of the types of things that you can do around email. Now let's have a look at looking at the calendar. So down at the bottom here, you've got your mail, your calendar, and we'll look at search in a few minutes. So let's look at calendar. So this is my calendar for today. I can view my calendar in several views. I can look at it in week mode, or I can look at it in agenda mode. And this will actually show people who have accepted meetings by the different icons underneath the meetings, or I can go into day mode. Here I can create new events. I can tap into an event and I can see more further details. And if I touch on this particular person who's in the meeting, it will actually take me through to a little bit more detail on that person coming from the global address list. So I can see their title, potentially what room and building they're in, their telephone number. I can see who their manager is. I can see some events that we've been in, some files that he or she is working on. And if it's linked to LinkedIn, it'll actually show some of the LinkedIn details associated with that person as well. And if I click on show organization, it's actually going to show the full organizational chart of where this person is, who they report to, who they work with, if they have any direct reports as well. The next thing we'll look at is search. So if you tap the magnifying glass down the bottom, this is going to allow you from one spot to be able to search across mail, contacts, and files. So we're just going to look for Lydia. And from here, you'll see it brought up Lydia as a contact, emails that I can see where Lydia has participated in, and files that she may have contributed to as well. So I did want to show just a couple of slides to demonstrate some things that I didn't have in the demo on some of the intelligence that's built into the application. So first of all, in terms of searching for people, travel, and files, you get that global address list search, so there's intelligence from that perspective. It's going to recommend people that it thinks that you might be interested in meeting with based on emails that you're sending, meetings that you're having with them. If there's anything interesting that's in your inbox, such as a flight or a package, it's going to extract that information out and present it as a a card, if you will. So in this case, I've got this flight to New York. It's put that in my calendar. If there was a check-in service available for that flight, it would actually add a check-in button right here that I could tap. It would take me to that airline's check-in page and allow me to check in. Actually, one of the things I forgot to show you in the demo was the ability to actually accept meetings right from the inbox. So you can see here, I've got these meetings that have been sent to me in an email. And right here, I can see this RSVP. So I can actually tap that, and it gives me the ability to accept or decline or tentatively accept that meeting right from the inbox, which is a fantastic integration value between the email and the calendar. So a little bit of a summary on why you should perhaps consider the Outlook app over and above just the built-in apps that come with the phone. One is security. So you can use app protection so that you can actually protect the data in Outlook so that it can't be saved to the local device, can't be saved to consumer services like Dropbox or Box. You can disable that type of capability. You can also use information rights management. We didn't demonstrate that today, but that's a service that's available in Office 365 that allows you to protect emails and content. So if you were to create an email that said, do not forward this to anybody else outside the organization, those permissions are going to be adhered to when you're in the Outlook app. In fact, if you tried to open up that email in the native app on iPhone or Android, you wouldn't even be able to open it up because it doesn't understand how to deal with that encryption and those policies. From an Office 365 integration perspective, some of the things that you're going to get with the Outlook app is integration with OneDrive and SharePoint, being able to attach those documents like we did, being able to see the SharePoint groups that we showed in the demonstration. If you've got an attachment that is a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF document, being able to open those up in the app without even having to have separate apps for that. Being able to organize on the go, right? We were able to schedule that meeting really easy with free busy information. Getting those time to leave reminders really helps you be able to achieve things on the go. What you used to have to sort of be forced to go back to your PC to do, we're trying to enable as many of those different scenarios in Outlook as possible. The fourth one was intelligence, being able to get access to the global address list, being able to make suggestions about people that you might want to interact with based on your previous interactions, being able to get an organizational view of the person that you're working with, getting LinkedIn information, travel summary cards, being able to check into a flight right from Outlook. So these are features and capabilities that you just don't get in the apps that come with the phone, and this adds significant value as you try and be more productive on the go. So in terms of next steps, I would highly recommend that you go and try the Outlook app for your iPhone or Android device. It is free to use, and it's the absolute best way for you to connect to Office 365 if you're an Office 365 user. There are some links here that I wanted to recommend. So if you're in IT and you want to provide your users with instructions on how to configure Outlook, there's a link here. If you want to get deployment and adoption support from Fast Track, there's lots of information here. The other thing I really wanted to recommend is we have this service called User Voice, which is outlook.uservoice.com. This is your place to go if you want to vote on features that are on User Voice, or if you want to recommend a new feature, go there and write it up and people can vote on it. The product group take this very seriously. This is how we're iterating the product so rapidly based on your feedback. So I wanted to thank you very much for your time today. I really do think that the Outlook app is the very best application for you to use for email, calendaring, whether it's just your personal account or it's your work account. You can combine the two as well. It's not just me saying that. I think there are 7,500 reviews for the Outlook app in the iTunes store, and it's got 4 stars. So give it a go. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I really appreciate your time. Thanks very much. Bye.